Alrighty, welcome back to the shop. In today's video, I will be showing my new shop. This is the fourth shop on the channel, and I'll be going over how to get a new shop set up and some things that I did to this shop after moving in. I've moved all this equipment a few times now, so I do have some tips and tricks. First of all, start off with getting some pallets. You can normally drive around locally and find some pallets and ask the owner if they're trash or not. And if they are trash, they'll normally give them to you for free. So I found some pallets. I adjusted those pallets so that they would work with my pallet stacker, which you can see behind me here, this yellow pallet stacker. I bought that on one of my first moves, and it makes the entire moving process much easier because you can take all the equipment and put them on pallets and not have to worry about moving individual pieces. I then couple the palleting technique along with a lift gate from Penske, and this allows you to just wheel everything up onto the lift gate, wheel them into the truck, and then drive them to your location. Now with this shop specifically, this is a large extended 2-car garage that will be the shop. And then we also have a 1-car garage that will be the gym. Before moving all of this stuff in here, on day one, after we got the keys to this property, we went ahead and hired a company to come in and insulate the walls. Now we had dry rock up, but all the walls were 100% uninsulated. And what they did was they drilled holes in each bay, and then they pumped a fluffy fiberglass material densely packed into each of the stud walls. They also did the attic rafters so that this is a nice and insulated space, because eventually I'll be installing a mini split on this shop. That did leave me with over 140 holes to go fill. To do that, I took little boards. I used these boards as a backer, and then took the pucks that were left behind by the hole drills and then just screwed the pucks into the backing board and filled the hole. And then, you know, you have a little ring around that you fill up with some with some spackling. And after that, I got the place painted. So you can see it's this nice gray color. I think gray is going to be, a light gray is great for a shop because it bounces the light around. Also, I obviously shoot a lot of videos in here. So I want that light to be as abundant as possible. Speaking of lighting, I converted all of these lights to LEDs. They were fluorescents. I took the ballast out, got the appropriate balls, rewired each one of these fixtures, and put in the LED lights. Now, they're bright, but there's not enough of them. There are 3 fixtures in this room, so I'll be going around eventually and adding a bunch more light fixtures so that y'all can see exactly what I'm doing when making knives or whatnot. So after getting all the insulation done, we got all the stuff moved into this shop on pallets. However, that first weekend, it rained real hard, and we actually had a lot of water come into the shop. This is something I was not expecting for sure. And what happened was that the floor of the shop, or the slab of the shop, is at the same level as the slab outside the shop. And there's a little low spot in the back that water was able to come all the way into the building and accumulate in a low spot, which is right over here. Now, while I was not happy, I was fortunate that all my stuff was still on pallets because we had to move it all out to repair this issue. Most garages have a 1.5-inch lip that the garage door closes in front of. And what this lip does is prevent any water from being able to come in to the shop. While creating a 1.5-inch lip is difficult after the fact because it's so thin, we were able to hire a company to come out here and pour a new cap slab on top of our current slab. It's 3.5 inches tall and has rebar going through it. And what this does is it provides a mechanical barrier, I guess you'd say, for that water to come up into the shop space. I obviously need to fix the drainage situation that caused this to be an issue in the first place. However, this 3.5-inch increase in height has already proven to have pretty much solved the problem. We've had a lot of bad rain since then and haven't had any water come into the shop. Now, to combat this large lip, I guess you'd say, getting into the shop, we also had that company pour some ramps, and these ramps use a fiberglass impregnated cement, and it allows them to get it real thin at the end there. So we have a 3.5-inch raise coming into the shop now. With this slab pour, the other upgrade that I did recently was I added some decking to the attic. There was no way to get into the attic on this building, which I found kind of odd. I feel like that's just wasted space. So we had this door put in, And then I went up there and decked out a significant portion of the attic along with putting in a light so that I can put some storage up there. With the hobbies that I have in a shop like this, it makes sense to have some storage in the attic. So that was one of the first things I did so that I can get some boxes up there and not worry about keeping them in the main space. I tried to keep the main space things that I use very frequently. And it's hard to throw stuff away, and I guess an attic that's decked out kind of enables me a little bit, but I tried my best to get rid of the stuff I haven't used in 5 years. So that's where I'm at now. I'm in the stage now that I'm deploying the shop. I have a general layout over here. I have my lathe, my mill, and then I have this workbench at a 90-degree. Now I'll explain that in a second. And then the middle here, I have an island. One thing with a shop, especially if you do have the floor space, is you don't want to put the island too far away from everything else because you'll find yourself going back and forth. I may bring this island a little closer to everything else. And then in addition, I may have enough room over here to put a second island for probably tools I don't use as frequently. This desk is at a 90. And the reason it's at a 90 is because you may be able to see it, but I've marked out on the floor some pencil lines that come right along here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a wall right here with a door and a window, and I'm going to have the little grinding room. And that's one thing I've always wanted in the shop, because when you're grinding knives, that metal dust gets up in the air. And no matter how you try to manage that when it comes to filters or a collection system, that dust ends up getting everywhere. So what I'm thinking is I have a 12-foot long wall and a 75-inch short wall. The reason it's going to be 75 inches is because I don't want to mess up the attic door here or come into it. I can't really come into it. I'm going to come right up to that trim with the wall, and I'll have a 12-foot by 75-inch enclave with a little door and a window to hopefully get some light in there. I'll obviously have to put more lighting in that room. And then I may try to figure out some sort of dust collection system for metal grinding. I know that's a little difficult to do because you're dealing with sparks as well, so you can't really use the same type of dust collection system you would for wood, but I've been doing some research. And if any of y'all have any good suggestions on how to do that, please leave them in the comment section below. Or any suggestions on a grinding room. I don't want to catch anything on fire. I've seen some guys have fires in their shops and their grinding areas, so I'm trying to be safe about this. On that topic, one thing I've been thinking about, I want to put some sort of protector on the walls wherever we put these grinders, where the sparks may fly. So I was thinking maybe some hardy board or cement backer or something like that that's fairly fireproof, maybe along about waist high all the way around the room, so that any direct sparking won't be hitting flammable materials or as flammable materials. So anyway, if y'all have any good ideas on that, let me know. So that's the grinding room. It'll be over there. Over here, we have a garage door in the back, a smaller door. And this is where we'll have the forging equipment. And there's a little patio back there. So I'll get the anvils and the press and the forge all set up in this corner. This would be the little forging zone. And then if you come over here, we're gonna have the heat treating oven and the quench tanks. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go over today. If y'all have any questions or suggestions, put them in the comment section below, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.